Dr. Beth Kasanoff-Piper. I'm President-elect of the Dallas County Medical Society. I'm hearing from more and more patients that they've been exposed to COVID over the last few weeks, and there's a lot of confusion about the CDC guidelines for how long people should quarantine after an exposure. The most important thing to know is that people can develop COVID for up to 14 days following an exposure, and that means they could be contagious to other people during that time and not know it. So the safest thing to do is to quarantine for the full 14 days. That provides the most protection to people around you. The CDC recommends the full 14-day quarantine as the best option. They've also given several other options to consider for quarantine, but they say that the 14 days is still the safest option. One other option is to end quarantine after 10 days if no symptoms have developed. Unfortunately, this leaves up to a 10% chance that people will be contagious to others in that remaining 4 days. The other option is to have a nasopharyngeal swab test done for COVID on day 6 or 7 and release from quarantine after day 7 if the test is negative. Now that option leaves about a 12% chance that people could still become contagious over that next week. So if you choose one of those shorter options for quarantine, it's extremely important that you wear a mask at all times and absolutely avoid people who are at high risk for complications from COVID for those remaining days because you could still be a risk to others. It's a good idea to talk to your doctor about what's the best quarantine period for you. People often ask me, I just found out I was exposed a few days ago. Let me go ahead and get a test now so I won't have to quarantine. Unfortunately, it's just so important for people to understand that having a test that's negative today doesn't predict whether or not you'll have COVID or be contagious tomorrow or the next day. And testing sooner than the 6th or 7th day following exposure doesn't mean that you don't have to quarantine or that you can end your quarantine any sooner than that 7th day. So if you've been exposed, please stay home and don't expose anyone else. Don't go shopping or see friends or let anyone come over to your house. If everyone will follow these guidelines, we will have far fewer cases and fewer deaths from COVID. I know 2 weeks seems like a long time to be stuck at home, but you really are protecting those you love, those people at high risk, and those people who can't stay home to protect themselves because they're working essential jobs. Have a happy new year and stay safe.